Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Okay, in this video or lesson, we're going to be continuing on the simple project. We are going to going to build a simple roof using what is called the roof by footprint tool. Okay. Um, The roof by footprint tool is a very simple way to build and modify roofs in Revit. Um, you can use it without walls, but when walls are in place, it is a really good tool. Okay, it's fantastic because it's effectively automatic. Okay, as with per usual, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share this channel so I can help building design students and professionals. Righty ho. So let's just go and jump into 3D, shall we? Okay. So this gives us a really good overview of what we have built so far, and we get to see this as our eye perceives the real world in 3 dimensions. Okay. Just a little note here. This 3D view is not a natural 3D view. It's an isometric view where this distance here is the same as this distance here. So it's not perspective, it's not, nothing disappears, um, but from a technical point of view, it's really handy. So what we have here is a quick reminder. We have the ground, the floor, the walls. Okay, so these are our external walls. Okay, and we're going to build a roof that applies load, or in reality would be picked up, the load would be picked up by these four external walls. That's what this tool is about. Okay. So let's get into it, and I'll probably show you a couple of different variations of the roof tool to get different results. Right, so the first thing to understand with roofs is when you're looking, you need to understand, if you're using a wall, okay, where does that particular wall finish? Okay, so this external wall, I've selected it, and as a reminder, we have the top constraint there up to ceiling level. Okay, so that's what we've got to remember. So that means there, in my floor plans, I'm going to double click on ceiling level there. Right, and this is now looking at the plan from that ceiling level down. Okay, so we're not on ground floor, we're actually floating above a little bit. Righty-ho. So here we have the external walls and the internal walls. Now the other thing as well, because I'm not cutting through these walls, and we'll talk about cut and stuff later on, I can't select them for modifying or moving the walls. I can't do that in this view, okay, but that is a different matter. So let's get started in the actual um, requirements. Okay, so architecture tab, we are in the build section, and here we have the roof building tools. Right. So if I click on there, there's a few items. All I want you to look at this one is this one here. It's called roof by footprint. Okay, and what this does is if we just tell Revit the outline, the, the pitch of the roof or the slope of it, the angle, and if the boundary lines all work and the etc., then Revit will just automatically build the roof. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to build roof by footprint. Okay, and I'm going to go into here into the properties. We've got a 400mm roof. If I go down here, there's a few different ones. 400mm is going to look awful, so I'm going to choose the generic 125. It's going to be a bit more realistic and in proportion to this project. Okay, so in our Modify tab, we're going to leave the options by themselves. Okay, we're not going to change anything for this round. Okay, and you'll see here in the sketch element, it's got a button there called Pick Walls. Okay, because there are walls already there, we're going to use this function. Okay, and in more technical videos, I'll show you why. But even though we can't, so just make sure that's selected. Hover over your external walls. Now you'll see that even though we couldn't draw over the walls, we can't select them for moving them, in this command we are allowed to select them for the purposes of telling Revit where the roof has to go. So I'm just going to click on this outside edge of the wall there. So it's a simple single click function. So left click, done. Okay, we see a magenta line there. Okay, that's the boundary of the roof. Okay, and we see here a little angle. This is like a slope button, and this is the slope. So at the moment they're saying that the angle or the slope of this roof will be 30 degrees. Let's just keep it at that by default. Right, so we repeat that command. Go over to this wall, click on the outside edge. Then we go over to this side of the wall, click the outside edge, and likewise the last one, click the outside edge. Right. And you will see here that, you know, Revit's pretty clever. It will automatically join all of those lines up. Okay, so just to refresh, we have told Revit to build a generic 125mm wall using the shape of the wall will start from the outside of these external walls, and it has a slope there or roof pitch of 30 degrees. Once we've got all of that, we can go to the mode button here and finish the edit mode. So I'm just going to go left click and finish it. Right, now it looks like the roof has not finished because there's this big square thingy in here. Don't worry about that. Have a look at 3D, so go to your 3D tab, and there we go. Remember, now holding my shift key down, holding my middle mouse button down at the same time, move my mouse button, I can move things around. Okay, so there we go. There is a 30-degree pitch roof or sloped roof or angled roof sitting on top of the outside edge of this brick veneer wall. That is the roof by footprint tool. Okay, now let's delete that and let's build a roof that's probably more in vogue with you know, Australian, building design, and probably, a lot of conventional designs. So I'm going to click on that, going to type in DE, which is the delete command, DE, gone. So let's repeat that. Go back to our ceiling plan. Roof, roof by footprint. Now we're going to change two things here. Number one, we're going to go into the options bar and we're going to change that overhang from 0 to 450. Okay, this means the roof is going to come out 450 millimeters past the wall. Okay, and it's going to create an eave effect. Okay, a bit of a shading device. So that's the first thing that I want to do there. So the overhang is 450. Okay, and that's all we've got at the moment. All right, so let's do that. Okay, so overhang. Now roof by footprint, pick the walls. Right, now here is the difference. Okay, I've selected that outside wall and you'll see a dash blue line up here. That is where the boundary is going to be built, and that is 450 millimeters away from the outside edge. So that's what the overhang does. All right, so I'm just going to repeat that. 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's the same shape as our roof. Okay, now once we built the roof, let's come back to our properties and you'll see here that we've got some new information here. This is what I was looking for before. Okay, the slope command or option is now available to us. So I am going to change this from 30 degrees because I don't want that pitch. I want 22.5, and that is what we colloquially call quarter pitch. It's quarter of 90 degrees. Okay. Um, in Australia, it's a very common roof slope. Um, it's easy to work out for builders, and it's also aesthetically pleasing. All right. So again, just running through our checks. Basic roof, yes. Slope, yes, we've changed to 22.5, and we've got an overhang of 450 millimeters for all of the boundary. If I'm happy with that, which I am, I'm going to left click on the check mark here to finish the command and go into 3D. Righty-ho. And I'm just panning around. So you'll see there, if I can, this little button here lets you look at the 3D views in isometric, so straight on. Okay, you'll see there from there to there, we've got that overhang. Now I can't measure in 3D, but what I could do is I can go into an elevation. There we go. And use my reference plane, move my temporary dimension around, and I get a confirmation that this distance set from here to here is 450 millimeters. Okay. So that is the roof command very, very simply, okay, but also how to add overhang or eaves, and also how to change the roof pitch of the entire roof structure. Okay. The next video we'll do probably look at windows and doors and openings, but until then, we will see you later, and thank you for watching this channel.